joined by Todd Furman, Clay Travis, and Cousin Sal. I want to welcome in host of Speak for Yourself and president of the Lock It In fan club, Mr. Jason Whitlock, to the VIP room. Honored to have you with us. Let's start with some college football. Jason, the Michigan Wolverines are currently 9.5-point favorites on Saturday when they host the Wisconsin Badgers. For context, the line opened at Michigan -6.5 and is now Michigan -9.5. Jason, what's your takeaway in this game?
I think this is crazy, and I do think Michigan's going to win this game. But a 9.5-point favorite, nearly 10 points against Paul Chryst in Wisconsin. And I know Wisconsin lost to BYU earlier in the season, but Wisconsin's one of those teams that keeps the game ugly, hangs around, and then pulls off the victory. And I'm not predicting Wisconsin to win this game, but there's just no way they lose by more than 4 or 5 points in this game. This line seems crazy. Hey, look, if Michigan goes in and cleans their clock, I'll be the first to say, like, hey, man, Jim Harbaugh may finally all the way be back and may pose a real threat to Ohio State later in the season. But I don't like this line. I would be all over Wisconsin. And I heard Todd earlier in the show. Someone explain this to me. I don't get it.
I'm actually on your side, Whitlock, but more importantly, you are sitting in this esteemed chair that I am in right now for the entirety of next week,
Whitlock?
Making all of the picks on behalf of this esteemed franchise. Please tell me that you're going to give me a lot of money at the end of the week.
Yeah, you're the Cleveland Browns of Lock It In. Never won anything.
No, the Cleveland Browns are much more lovable.
Yeah, he's getting fired at midseason, and I'm replacing him. You expect me to fix your mess, Clay? It ain't happening.
All right, moving on. Let's talk Chiefs.
Troubling.
Jason, they travel to Foxborough to take on the rejuvenated New England Patriots, who've now won 2 in a row. The line is open at Pats -3.5, and it hasn't moved since. What concerns you in this game?
Well, what concerns me as a Chiefs fan and the leader of the Patrick Mahomes fan club is Bill Belichick's success against young quarterbacks. I think that's real. I think that Belichick knows how to confuse and undermine a young quarterback. I don't expect it to happen, though. Bill Belichick, you can throw all that history. I think since Gillette Stadium opened, they got some incredible 43-1 record against quarterbacks under 25. Colin Kaepernick's the only young quarterback to ever beat Bill Belichick in Gillette Stadium. Well, we're about to add another name, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Just too many weapons. Just Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Kareem Hunt, and the best, the most talented young quarterback, and the best play caller probably in football, and Andy Reid. I think the Chiefs handle their business. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, but I think the Chiefs outscore them.
Jason, you say that Belichick rattles young quarterbacks. You know what else he rattles? Old coaches. We saw what he did to Pete Carroll in the Super Bowl. I fear that he's going to do the same to Andy Reid. God forbid this comes down to the last 2 minutes. What is Andy Reid going to do? He's going to do those Jedi mind tricks on Reid, and then he's going to be lost. He's going to call a timeout at the wrong time. We know how this ends, don't we?
No, we don't, because I'm just telling you, Patrick Mahomes is the magic man. He does things off script that Andy Reid has never had a quarterback. I mean, just think what Andy Reid did with Donovan McNabb. Donovan McNabb, not nearly as talented as Patrick Mahomes. Alex Smith, good friend of mine, love Alex Smith. He's not Patrick Mahomes. Andy Reid does have brain farts from time to time. Patrick Mahomes is the answer to those farts. He's the Febreze that gets sprayed all over Kansas City and fixes the problem.
Answer to all my farts.
Can we sub in Clay and Jason just indefinitely? The undefeated Rams.
Already, I'm getting Wally pissed.
Travel to Mile High to take on Von Miller and the Broncos. The Rams are currently 6.5-point road favorites. Jason, can the Rams offense keep up the blistering pace in a potentially snowy Denver?
Yeah, I think the snow is the problem. Can they plow through a snowstorm? And probably they can because they have Todd Gurley. They're not an offense dependent on the running game or the passing game. They have both. So I think in severe weather conditions, they'll lean on their offensive line and Todd Gurley. I was a guy that's high on Case Keenum. I was the guy that believed in Case Keenum, and he's really struggled and let me down so far. I just don't see the Broncos scoring more than 7 to 10 points in this game, and I don't care what the conditions are. Hurricane, snowstorm, tornado, whatever, the Rams are going to score 17 to 24 points regardless of weather conditions. They'll cover here.
Jason, you and Rachel both mentioned the weather. We know you're not a man afraid to come out to the desert and place a friendly wager or two from time to time. As we get deeper into the football season, how do you attack handicapping games that are going to have snowstorms or rain or wind? Do you try and find an edge that way, or are you just trying to steer clear completely?
Todd, how many times I got to tell you? I'm the worst gambler you know. I could care less about weather.
Next week.
I don't factor in anything other than my gut feeling when I step to place a wager. You keep asking me these complicated questions. If I was as smart as you about gambling, Todd, I would be on the show rather than a show like Speak for Yourself. I don't care about weather. It's a gut feeling with me.
I love it.
I can respect that, Jason. I can respect that.
Next up, the Seattle Seahawks and the Oakland Raiders travel to London and to face off in jolly old England. The Seahawks are currently a 2.5-point favorite in that one. Jason, do you have any confidence in the Raiders' ability to cover the spread?
Yeah, I really do, because there's a lot of talk about John Gruden, and a lot of people criticize him. And I've had some criticism and think he's a little too hard on Derek Carr. But most of the time when I watch the Raiders, I see John Gruden giving them a competitive edge, X's and O's wise. And so I really do think, coming off a bad loss last week, coming off some more pressure on Derek Carr, I think they're going to play well against Seattle. I kind of like the Raiders in this spot in a game where John Gruden and Derek Carr get some redemption. I like the Raiders this weekend.
Jason, you mentioned London, and Clay is going to London next week. How do we prepare for the already most pretentious person we know returning to the States with a British accent? What are we going to do when that happens?
Look, I hope they keep him over there in England and keep all his bluster. Look, Clay knows nothing about football.
Right.
We'll see if he can go over there and maybe bet some soccer and win some things over there. But no, listen, Clay's ego will get bigger having gone to London. He'll come back and think he's smarter than all the rest of us. He already thinks that, but he'll think it even more then. But we'll be fine. We know how to poke a pin in Clay. The results every week on this show keep deflating his ego.
That's right.
You guys keep sticking it to him.
Him and Joe Klatt should just be on our show every day. All right, and really quick, the Baltimore Ravens, fresh off their loss to the Cleveland Mayfields, are currently 2.5-point favorites at Clay's Titans. Jason, is Tennessee being undervalued with this line here?
No. Listen, Clay believes in Tennessee. He believes in the Vrabel effect. He believes in Marcus Mariota. No one else does. It's been a nice little start. Marcus Mariota is a pretty pedestrian quarterback. I don't think you can undervalue them enough. Baltimore got embarrassed last week. Baltimore and Joe Flacco and John Harbaugh and Willie Snead, best receiver from Ball State ever, they're going to break out a can of whoop ass on Clay's Tennessee Titans. They're not being undervalued.
The Titans are going to dominate the Ravens unless Sal needs them to win the week, in which time the Baltimore Ravens are going to dominate the Titans. That's all I have to say about this game.
All right, thanks, Jason. Coming up, we go over the bets the guys made earlier in the week, and I'm somehow guessing we won't be able to get to all of Clay's because he has like a million of them. But stick around.
I'm Captain Obvious, and Hotels.com rewards me basically everywhere I stay. So why am I stomping grapes with aerobics enthusiasts near this B&B?